Hello there folks, Marshall here. I've got a 2 versus 2 for you today. In red team we've got Diskraip and Darth Fox against mint green Corgizilla and NomegaCorgi on Tropic and Honey. So everyone's playing MLA and this game is a sudden death game, i.e. if one commander on your team dies, you lose. So you've got to protect all commanders equally. Oh, something changed there, Corgi. Instead of going bots, I've got something else on the cards. Over here, the other Corgi player though, bots, vehicles, air and into the water. Meanwhile up north, from the BSE folks, we've got bots, air, and bots, air, or rather airbots, air. Already some differences. We've got some air fabs out as well. Of course, if they can get around, they really can start to pay for themselves, but you've got to make sure that they can get around. Nice Firefly scouting from the BSE folks though, being able to see a lob coming up. We've got some movement into the water as well. Of course, as part of Tropic and Honey Donut, you've got this long naval corridor that goes right around the prime meridian of the planet. Although it does provide some nice choke point defences here. Of course, if you don't get to those choke point defences, well, then you can be a little stuffed. Because if your opponent gets there first, they can really blockade you. Coming out of the BSE, folks, some boombots. Ooh. Very nice. Are those going to be looking to sit on expansions and maybe pick up some expanding fabbity-doodahs? We'll have to see. FF's getting out nicely, expanding to some metal, which is what we like to see. A lack of counter-air play from Corgi could hamper them a little bit in this game. You've got to be well aware of that sort of a threat going forward. Oh, a Firefly. It sees 2 lonely fabs. 2 aggressive docks. Oh no. Down go the fabs. That's a shame. Nice picks there. Bombers coming in on the other side though. BSE being very, very aggressive here in the red team. Good micro there for the fab. Keeping it alive. Trying to spay that... trying to goad that bomber into the range of the comms anti-air missiles. Just... that missile does not have a range for it. BSE though also now, the red team setting some docks on expansions, which is really good. Kills off another fab. And Corgi have to reply to that. Sending out an army of their own. Moving to T2 vehicles as well, which is nice. And some naval plans for the red team up here. Let's see what happens. Ah! Some counter-fabber counterplay. Some counter-fab play. There we go. The lobs could start to pay for themselves here, actually, in countering and containing the red team on this side of the planet. We'll just have to see what happens there. Air coming out, though. Sparks to defend. With some docks it's okay, but when you've got docks spread out like that, sparks aren't always the wisest and the air gets gobbled up. Oh no. So Corgi perhaps need to get a couple more air factories out there. They are on 3 currently, plus the T2 vehicles, whereas the red team up here are on 3, but they had an earlier start, so that's the advantage they have in the air there. All the same, getting up another air factory will start to amend that issue. Ah! The air fabs lives! Oh my word, the air fab lives! And again! Oh, there we go. It will get picked off ultimately, and that's good. Ah. BSE notably being very, very aggressive in this game here. Ooh, we could see some more fabs going down. We will. Ah, just about. Red team, though, on the north side here, finally formulating their defense, mixing in docks with some sparks, which is good. And T2 air as well. Very, very curious. T2 vehicles almost finished. Finally, some retaliatory aggression from the mint green team. Although again, their air is consistently reset, which isn't great for them. And some T2 bots too. Wow. And T2 naval. Blimey, well. They're not stalling on their resources, so at least they can afford it. In the T2 vehicles, they're not under any immediate threat, hence the T2 fab out first rather than a leveler. So that'll get try and close the gap on this eco. We've got some good combat fabs reclaiming the trees as well. This T2 air could be tricky to deal with though. If the Corgi team can't build many more air factories, but they are doing. A lot of bombers, though, being produced. A lot of bombers being produced. That's interesting. Unless it's just the way the queue's formed and we'll have some interceptors afterwards. But that's a lot of bombers for a team that does not have air superiority. Okay, no, they are coming back to hummingbirds. Okay, that's not too bad. As they will focus down. Corgis again sending in their air way, way too early. Continually resetting its power. On this side though, a red team setting up some proxy bases. I like this. Now coming in from different angles. Again, we'll pick up a couple of fabs. But won't get very far because of T2 defense. Levelers will deal handsomely with this, as will things like Grenadiers. Well, hey, there we go. And some bomber defense. Not even a scratch. Well, 2 fabs can count as a scratch. We'll have to see a second T2 air factory on the cards for the red team, and T2 vehicles on each side. So on this side we're going to have T2 vehicles versus... Oh, never mind. They cancelled the T2 bots. Curious. That's interesting, really, because does that indicate that they're just going super ham on this side? Because they're really not building very much on this hemisphere here. Are they just wanting to completely push back, or what's going on? Transition to the boombots from the red team is good, considering they know that they have a lot of vehicles on the horizon. Of course, boombots are quite good at dealing with vehicles. In they come, just a couple of them. The spinners are down, so this force no longer has any anti-air. Bombers will reign supreme. T2 fabs wandering around. Red team still stalling their metal, not really expanding in the water as much as perhaps one might expect on this hemisphere. Corgis again running their air into oblivion, time and again, learning no lessons here. Red team looking very, very dominant. Second T2 air factory almost done. The Phoenix now really starting to populate the skies. T2 vehicle defense here will really hamper the Corgi advantage. And the T2 naval could start to do some damage as well. Corgi's looking very, very... well, located, I suppose. Centralized. They've been unable to expand really on this side at all, whether that's in an inability or a lack of trying. Let's have a look in the army tab there for a moment. 130 to 180. So there's our unit count disparity. A lot of that is in the skies though. So not too much to worry about on land at this stage. Perhaps. Ah, pings from the Corgis. Keep your units alive. Storms and Shellers are not for the front lines. We're going to get up a turret down here, yeah. Of course, you've got to reclaim first. before it can go up. Tanks coming into range. You wanted a T2 turret, not a T3 one. I say T3 because it's got 3-point barrel. A T2 for the 2-point and a T1 for the 1-point. Just in case you're thinking, but that is a T2 point defense. We did manage to conserve the T2 fab there, though. That is important. Coming up with a second T2 fab now, though. And the air for BSC is just so big. Ooh. A little air scout, seeing what's going on. I like that. What can they see from that? They see the 2 air factories. They don't see a huge amount of this base, but then again, I don't think there's a huge amount to see. They might have seen the T2 vehicles. They did not. But they've seen everything that's on this side. And oh my goodness, bumblebees! Where did these come from? Bumblebees? There's no air! There's no air to defend! It's a bumblebee comm snipe! In the sudden death! It's a multi-pass bumblebee comm snipe while the air was not there! Oh my gosh! Where did that come from? Oh, the red team! Eliminated! Oh wow, where did that come from? Let's have a look. I did think earlier that there were a lot of bumblebees in that air force. Wow, look at that. They're all just there and the air is just wandering around mopping things up. Oh wow. Good strategy there from the Corgis. Keeping red distracted as much as they could, really. And then all of a sudden, out comes the bumblebee force, and the air's over there. I think it realised only too late. Pings from red, realising, oh dear, come help me please. I need some help please. And the air is not there. Wow. What a way to go. BSC really on top that whole game, really. It's just that one window exploited. Without remorse. By Corgizilla and NomegaCorgi. Well, well played to them. Huh. I'm Marshall, folks. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.